Peace lover, students on the path of meditation. Good evening in Bali time. I am deeply happy to meet you again. Thank you for thousands of friends who joining our guided meditation this morning. All of the comments are positive. There is no negative comment. That is the specific characteristics of the spiritual family of compassion. Thank you for all the positive feedback. There is one lady from Jakarta who are asking about the translation. Forgive us today, our friend who used to translate my speech is now absent because of very busy in Jakarta. Forgive me. Hopefully in the next presentation there will be a translator who translate my presentation. But no worry, within few weeks or few months there will be video in which there is text in Bahasa Indonesia which translate my speech. No worry, no worry. Now we are going to discuss about dispelling the inner darkness. According to our local words here in Amsterdam, now it is exactly 18 minutes past 6 Bali time, according to local words. By the time we are waiting for thousands of friends who are in the process of joining us, now relax, especially your mind. Simply relax. No need to think too much. Simply relax. As relaxed as the weather here in Ashram Mawalokiteswara in the high mountain northern part of Bali. The weather is a little bit cloudy, a little bit colder than usual, but it is understandable because now we are entering the rainy season. By the time we are waiting to 1,000 friends in the process of joining, let me refresh your memory about this morning summary about placebo effect. Do not forget, human body has all the capacity to heal itself. Again, let me repeat again. Human body has all the capacity to heal itself. Of course, under the assumption that you are living in balance. Balance in broad sense. Balance both materially and spiritually. Balance between making ourselves happy and making the others happy. Balance between the calling of the work at the office and the calling of the family at home, being balanced in broad sense. As I said this morning, the effect of placebo will be stronger to the people who are optimistic inside. For that reason, I keep encouraging you, be optimistic. No matter how dark the situation outside, learn to be optimistic. Learn to be optimistic. Remember the research from the University of Toledo. Those who are optimists tend to have far stronger placebo effect rather than those who are pessimistic. Especially because when you are optimistic, you have a confidence to step forward to the future. You have the ability to solve the present problem, and the past is no longer gripping you. Be optimistic, no matter how dark the challenge of your life. What I mean by placebo is simple. Someone can heal itself not because of the external source of medicine, but they can heal themselves because of the internal medicines of faith and belief. Not blind faith, of course, not blind faith, but the faith that we systematically develop inside. Like, for example, first of all, be careful about your nutrition, because nutrition is considered but as the ultimate medicine. Especially one of the old scripture in the ancient Eastern wisdom, Ayurveda said, if you eat the wrong food, any medicine will not help. If you consume the right food, any medicine will not be needed, because nutrition, the right nutrition, is the ultimate medicine. Be careful when it comes to the nutrition, because there is no quick fix about the right nutrition. There is no quick fix, because someone's relationship with plant-based food especially is very unique. Like me myself, suitable to certain fruit, but my wife does not like the fruit that I love, because the history of the body different, the structure of our intelligence is different, a lot of things different. And the best suggestion that I can give to you is be sensitive, especially to the voice of your gut. Why? Because 60% of our immune system is determined by the health of our gut. Or that, listen, be sensitive to the voice that comes from your gut. The following step to watering the inner seeds of placebo effect. Remember, stop the energy draining that come out from the critical and conflicting mind. Like the message that I keep sharing to all of you in guided meditation, especially, rest the mind, rest the mind. As soon as you rest the mind from any kind of inner conflict and critic, all the energy drain that come out from the critical mind will stop. As soon as your body have sufficient energy inside, because stopping the energy draining from the critical and negative mind, as soon as you have sufficient energy inside, the body will automatically have all the ability to heal itself. That is the brief summary about this morning presentation, watering the seeds of inner placebo. Now we are 24 minutes past 6 p.m. Bali time. Before I share to you the new topic this evening, Dispelling the Inner Darkness, let's spend at least 5 minutes together meditation. You know, the spelling of meditation is very close to medication, because meditation is the only medication which has no side effect. Why? Because meditation can stop the energy draining. Meditation can help you to be well connected inside and outside. Remember, spiritual connection is the root of all healing and peace. Now we will spend at least 5 minutes together in meditation, just to make your mind and heart clear and clean. It is like opening the door of your mind and heart, and then to let the light that flowing from me dispel some part of your inner darkness. Now we are going to meditate. First of all, remember to cross your leg in order to avoid downward movement of energy. Secondly, make your wings as natural as possible. No need to be too open, no need to be too close. Position your hands as natural and as comfortable as possible. If your religion suggesting you to position your hand in certain position, feel free. Open your eyes a little bit just to avoid of being sleepy. Some of you who watch my guided meditation, please do not ride motorcycle, do not drive the car because it is dangerous. Guided meditation can make you easily feel sleepy. If you want to watch my guided meditation, make sure that you do not ride motorcycle, you do not drive any car. Now we are going to meditate. As I keep sharing to all of you from year to year, the innermost core of meditation is to take a perfect rest. That is the innermost core of meditation. Take a perfect rest. Whatever the blessing of this moment, like the voice of motorcycle, like the voice of the horn of the car, simply rest. Especially because everything that happens in this realm is the dancings of the same perfection. What the mind calls as wrong, right, false, true, sorrow, joy, are all the dancings of the same perfection. Rest, beautiful soul, rest. Rest from any kind of inner conflict and inner critic, rest. Remember, in English language, the noun is called the present. It means whatever the blessing of this moment, it is a spiritual gift to all of us, the present. Simply rest in the present. That is the innermost core of meditation. Some of you who learn quantum physics especially know your universe manifesting into human body, meaning you are both night and day, you are both darkness and light. Rest, beautiful soul, rest. In the ancient path of meditation, we no longer choose happiness over sadness. We no longer choose pleasure over pain. We no longer choose praise over blame. We simply rest in this moment as it is. There are many energy draining will totally stop from the critical mind. As soon as you are able to rest your mind in this moment as it is, and the mind which is no longer throwing out energy because of inner conflict and inner critic will naturally become its own healing. Rest, beautiful soul, rest. As dolphins beautify the ocean by being dolphins, butterfly beautify the garden by being butterfly. You are beautifying Mother Earth by being yourself as you are. By being yourself as you are. Rest. Whatever the blessing of this moment, from cloud-full sky, numbness in your leg, until the good memory from teenager's time. Rest. Remember, both samsara and nirvana are two sides of the same coin. No need to chase nirvana and leaving behind samsara. No need. Simply rest in this moment as it is. What you call as bad memories of the past is the way of your soul grow from one level of maturity into a higher level of maturity. What you call as the fear of the future, it is only the guide of the light to make you be careful. Rest in the present moment. That is the innermost core of meditation. Remember the three stages to the inner heaven. The three stages to inner heaven. Accept, flow, smile. That is the three stages to inner heaven. Accept, flow, smile. Meditation is not here to remove something. Meditation is not here to add something. Meditation simply invites you to rest in this moment. The practical step to rest the mind is simply feel the gap between two breaths. No need to prolong the breath, no need to shorten the breath. Simply feel the gap between two breaths. Simply feel without negative, positive, without attaching the positive, without rejecting the negative. Simply feel the gap between two breaths. There are infinite possibility of healing and peace are available there if you keep filling the gap between two breaths, infinite possibility of healing and peace. As the natural natures of water which is wet, as the natural natures of flower which is beautiful, the natural natures of resting mind is full of loving kindness and compassion. To most beginner, love is the orders of Holy Scripture. But to some of you who perfectly rest your mind at the gap between two breaths, love is no longer the order of Holy Scripture. Love is your natural nature. As natural as flower which is beautiful, as natural as water which is wet. Now, as soon as you open your eyes, whisper deep into your soul the beautiful mantra Aham Prema 3 times, meaning I am love, who is here to share love. Aham Prema, Aham Prema, Aham Prema. I am love, who is here to share love. Thank you, beautiful heart, beautiful soul, beautiful friend, light seeker, peace lover, students on the path of meditation. Thank you for being patient, following our guided meditation. Now we are entering a new topic this evening, dispelling the inner darkness, dispelling the inner darkness. Most of you know already that the cycle of our time is very dark. At the end of 2020, many people expect that this long crisis of coronavirus will be ended. But the story is completely different. There are new variants of coronavirus was found in some country, and one of the famous country in this case is England. Because of the finding of new variants of coronavirus, the world is no longer getting brighter but getting darker. There are a lot of uncertainty in the future. There are a lot of uncertainty. That is the symbol of darkness. Some of you who learn astrobiology know that 70% of the energy in the universe are dark energy. 70%. You can imagine if we keep fighting with dark energy, who will win? They are 70%. For that reason, the most beautiful message of this evening is very simple but very deep. The best way to protect yourself from outer darkness is knowing your inner darkness. Do not fight against the outer darkness. They are 70%. It is impossible to win against the 70%. Remember, the most important way to protect yourself from the outer darkness is knowing the inner darkness. As soon as you know your inner darkness, as soon as you dispel your inner darkness, those outer darkness will not disturb you. The person who knows their inner darkness, who dispel their inner darkness, is like a person who brings candle everywhere they go. Since you bring candle everywhere you go, those darkness will respectfully run away from you because you bring candle. For that reason, the topic of our the topic of this evening is not fighting against outer darkness, but dispelling the inner darkness. One of the famous wise men from China, his name is Sun Tzu. Sun Tzu has a beautiful and touching message. One who knows him or herself also know their enemies. Those who know themselves and their enemy, they will automatically win in all the battle. This evening, I will share to you some of knowledge about the self, not as part of the fight against the outer darkness, no, but as part as the way we protect ourselves from the outer darkness. Repeating the previous message, the best way to protect yourself from outer darkness is by knowing the inner darkness, by dispelling the inner darkness. In the ancient stories of wisdom, there is the story of a famous king whose leg was disturbed by the thorn. Since the feet is disturbed by the thorn, the king ordered to all assistants, those of you, my minister and assistant, start from tomorrow morning, please cover all the road in my kingdom with the skin of animal. All the minister just keep quiet. The assistant also just keep quiet. No one dare enough to say no. But tomorrow morning, after the king is calm enough, one of the minister whispered to the ears of the king, "My Lord, forgive me. I don't want to disagree with your argument. No. Why don't you cover your feet by using shoes? It is not only the cost is far cheaper, but also it is better to your own safety. Don't cover all the road with the skin of animal. Cover your feet with shoes." A beautiful story. The meaning, the interpretation. Our cycle of time is like road which full of thorns. Don't try to blame government. Don't try to blame WHO. Don't try to blame anyone else. It is like the king who want to cover all the road using the skin of animal. What I am suggesting to all of you this evening, do not cover all the roads with the skin animal. Don't try to change everyone in the world. Try to cover your mind using the shoes of mindfulness. That is the best light that I am going to share to you to dispel the inner darkness. The light of mindfulness. Those who keep blaming the government, those who keep blaming the economic slowdown, those keep blaming unemployment rate, it is like the king who want to cover all the road using the skin of animal. The beautiful candle that I will kindle to you, simple. Cover your mind with the shoes of mindfulness. As I said in the beginning, as soon as you bring candle in your mind, candle of mindfulness, all darkness outside will naturally run away. I prefer the word mindfulness rather than awareness or another terminology, because in the mindfulness there is word full in the middle. Mindfulness. Full meaning whole, because I am the student of David Bohm, who wrote a beautiful book, Health and the Implicate Order. The physicist, the famous physicist David Bohm is right. Health comes from the word whole. If you want to heal yourself, remember to train your mind holistically. That's why I prefer the word mindfulness. The word full in the middle of mindfulness bring the meaning of wholeness. Now we are entering the practical step of dispelling the inner darkness. There are two messages that I am going to deliver to you this evening, closely related with dispelling the inner darkness. Let's begin with the first step. In our cycle of time, brain is considered to be the master organ. So that's why many people try to learn much deeper about human brain. The weight of the brain is only 2% of the weight of the body, but the energy which is consumed by the brain is more than 20%. Another reason brain is very important. I will talk to you later about the intersection point where the body, mind, spirit, it is in the biochemical reactions of the brain. I will talk to you at the end of the presentation. First of all, in order to dispel the inner darkness, please remember, our brain loves pattern and repeatance. It will be clearer, this theory, if I use some example. Let me repeat again. The human brain loves pattern and repeatance. That is the long behavior of human brain. For example, suppose that you love to go to the office every morning earlier because you want to avoid traffic jam. Few minutes before arriving to the office, you used to stop in certain coffee shop, just enjoy your breakfast, eating some bread and ordering coffee mix that you used to order. It happened from one morning to another morning. In every morning, your pattern is the same. Going to the office earlier than most people in order to avoid traffic jam. Few minutes before our time, you stop in the coffee shop near the office. You park your car precisely in the front of coffee shop and ordering coffee milk that you used to order. That happened from one day to another day, 1 week to another week, 1 month, year. It happened from one. That is the pattern. But in one morning, when you are ready to park your car in front of coffee shop, there is someone else's car parked there. You know, the pattern is different. As soon as you order your coffee milk, that coffee milk is out of stock. Suddenly what happened? Bad mood. Bad mood. Some of the people do not recognize that. Bad mood. If you do not bring the light of mindfulness into that mood, that bad mood, you can be angry as soon as you arrive in the office. Why that has happened? Because the daily life is no longer in line with the pattern and the repeatance. Be careful. As soon as you know that life is no longer in line with the pattern and the repeatance, bad mood can easily appear. At the same time, it can become the seed of anger. First example, The second example, just to make your understanding clear, human brain love pattern and repetition. As soon as you return back to the office, you come home, usually your two beautiful kids welcome you in the door. Hey, daddy, 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 daddy. I love you, daddy. After you hug your two beautiful girls at home, usually you just open clothes, change your clothes, take rest, shower, and then enjoy your dinner together with your wife and your children. That happens from day to day, week to week, month to month, year to year. That is the pattern and repentance. In one evening, without you do not know what happened, suddenly you come home, the children were no longer there. The wife was not there. The house is empty. The pattern is different. As soon as the pattern is different, again, bad mood can easily appear. That bad mood can become the seed of anger. If you do not bring any candle of mindfulness, conflict can happen between you and your wife and your children. What happened in this house? Those people do not tell me where do they go. Usually they just send me SMS or whatever. I do not know. Angry appear. Why angry appear? Because life is not in line with the pattern and repentance. As I said in the beginning, human brain loves pattern and repentance. As soon as life is no longer in line with the pattern and repentance, bad mood can easily appear, and that bad mood becomes the seed of anger if you do not bring the candle of mindfulness. What I mean by mindfulness, where there is day, there is night. Where there is happiness, there is sadness. That is the light of mindfulness. Where people are being praised, one day they will be being blamed. It is like a pair of soul wings. Now, without bringing the candle of mindfulness, as soon as the life grows not in line with the pattern and repentance, bad mood appear. If you do not bring the light of mindfulness to that bad mood, it can grow into dangerous anger. The third and the last example, just to make the story clearer to you. Brain love the pattern and repentance. The third and the last example. Usually in the weekend, you wake up a little bit late because you want to rest at the end of the weekend. After, usually you maybe wake up 6 o'clock, but in the weekend you wake up 7 o'clock. After waking up, you just feel lazy, playing with your children, enjoying the nice food. That is the pattern, and the repentance happen from one day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year. But in certain weekend, suddenly you wake up earlier than before. Usually you wake up 7 o'clock, but in this Saturday you wake up 4 o'clock in the morning. Life is no longer grow in line with the pattern. Again, bad mood appear. If you do not bring any candle of mindfulness to that bad mood, it will become dangerous anger. That is the first example of dispelling the inner darkness. Please remember, human brain love pattern and repentance. As soon as life grow not in line with the pattern and repentance, bad mood appear. without bringing the candle of mindfulness, that bad mood will grow into dangerous anger. That is the first chapter of Dispelling the Inner Darkness. Now we are entering the second chapter of Dispelling the Inner Darkness. I call it as thinking feeling loop. Thinking feeling loop. It is understandable why all the Holy Scripture prohibit us thinking negatively. All Holy Scripture, whatever religion, all Holy Scripture prohibit us to think negatively. Let me explain again using example, because this explanation will be clearer if I use example. Thinking feeling loop. Since you have plenty of time in the office, suddenly you think negatively about your friend. Maybe your friend was cheating in the past. Maybe your friend stole your money, or whatever negative thinking. This negative thinking will give birth to the negative feeling, bad mood. And the negative feeling will strengthen the previous negative thinking. That is inner darkness. That is inner darkness. So that's why the most important reason why my body is a little bit healthier than the people in my average age, because I used to bring the candle of mindfulness to this kind of thinking, feeling loop. Another example, one day you find that your house is empty. You have no one to talk to. Since you have no one to talk to, bad memory visit you, make you thinking negatively about your parent, for example. Maybe in the past you have been harmed by your parent. You think negatively about your parent. This negative thinking about the parent will give birth to negative feeling, bad mood. And this, the last bad mood, negative feeling, loop, strengthen the previous negative thinking. Whatever happened, stress, hormone cortisol, released by your brain. So that's why, again, be careful about thinking, feeling loop. The root is negative thinking. So that's why whenever negative thinking visit me, I suddenly bring the candle of mindfulness. I used to say like this: hello, the inner yin yang, how are you? Disappear. What I mean by the inner yin yang, inside me there is both darkness and light. In the dark side there is bright part, in the bright side there is dark. I used to whisper to myself whenever negative thinking visit me, hello, the inner yin yang, how are you? Both of you are part of me. And negative thinking does not give birth to negative feeling. Consequently, negative feeling does not loop, does not strengthen the previous negative thinking. That is the second example about dispelling the inner darkness. It is simple, but if you do not practice it in the inner life, it will become dangerous enemy. I have been meeting more than 10,000 students in meditation session, especially those people who have dangerous disease like cancer, whatever. Most of them always visited by this kind of thinking, feeling loop. Start with negative thinking, give birth to bad mood, negative feeling, and this negative feeling strengthened the previous negative thinking. That person keep consuming poison from one time to another time. Even though there is no problem, even though there is no one in the house, but they keep consuming poison because they do not bring the candle of mindfulness to thinking, feeling loop. After listening to my presentation, anytime the negative thinking come to you, remember, smile. Bring some candle of mindfulness. If you agree to me, you may whisper the beautiful mantra, hello, the inner yin yang, how are you? That's why the quality of my sleep getting better from one night to another night. The quality of my relationship with my family, spiritual family and biological family, getting better from one time to another time, because I always bring the candle of mindfulness to the thinking, feeling loop. Be careful. That is the second. The first one, brain love the pattern and repentance. As soon as the life grows not in line with the pattern and repentance, bad mood appear. The second one, thinking, feeling loop. Be careful when negative thinking visit you. Do not let the negative thinking giving birth to negative feeling. It will loop. How? Bring the candle of mindfulness. Remember the mantra. Hello, the inner yin yang. Now we are entering the third steps of dispelling the inner darkness. Some of you who learn neuroscience know the terminology is called neurological circuit. If you use microscope to see your brain, inside our brain there are countless circuits. It is called neurological circuit, related with certain event in the past, related with certain person, related with the words that you keep speaking from one time to another time. Usually they come visit us in the form of bad memory. Now let me explain using example again. Some of you who spend dating times in teenagers on the beach especially, as soon as you see the picture of the beach, you will remember about your memory in teenager. Oh, I spent a lot of time with my wife dating on the beach. Some of you who love playing golf, as soon as you see the picture of green grass, you will remember how beautiful playing the golf is. Some of you who have bad experience about sexual harassment in young age, you can get sick if you see the picture of the pond. It all related with the neurological circuit in the brain. Usually, those neurological circuits in the brain come visiting us in the form of bad memory. Spending time alone without thinking this or that, suddenly you remember the memory of being harmed by your parent. The one who brings the bad memory of the angry parent is the neurological circuit in the brain. If you entertain the neurological circuit, the neurological circuit will become stronger, and someday can giving birth to mental illness and also physical illness. The medicine that I am suggesting to you, and the medicine also that I consume to myself, whenever bad memory come and visit me, I used to whisper to myself, hello, neurological circuit, how are you? I know you are there. I know you are there. Don't entertain the neurological circuit. What I mean by entertaining the neurological circuit, You you analyze, you compare, you talk to your friend, you blaming your parent, you blaming the person who harm you in young age. That is what I mean by entertaining. Don't entertaining those bad memory. The more you entertain those bad memory, the stronger the neurological circuit will be. As a result, bad memory will come much more often. What I do to my neurological circuit is simple. Whenever bad memory come and visit me, I simply say this beautiful mantra. Hello, neurological circuit. I know you are there, but now you are no longer grip me. I can say goodbye to countless bad memories of the past simply because I do not entertain those neurological circuit in the brain. That is the third explanation about dispelling the inner darkness. Number 4, I will share to you the research of Pavlov. Pavlov is one of the famous Russian psychologists in the 1940s. This is not a new theory. This is not a new story. It's a long story, but even longer than the age of Pavlov. In the year of 1940s, maybe some of you was not born yet, Pavlov made a beautiful research. The research is very famous. First of all, giving the dog food, and then ring the bell. Tang-tang. Giving the dog food, then ringing the bell. Tang-tang. Giving the dog the food and ring the bell. Tang-tang. One day, Pavlov did not give any food, but ringing the bell. Tang-tang. What happened? The saliva come out from the mouth of the dog. The conclusion, that is what the spiritual life call as long life conditioning. What Pavlov did to his dog is he conditioned the dog. Giving food, ringing the bell. Giving food, ringing the bell. As a result, as soon as the dog listened to the voice of the bell, saliva come out from the mouth. The same thing happened with countless bad habits that we have, from anger, fear, doubt, panic. It is all the result of long conditioning. Especially we learn from the parent in the childhood. One of the important reasons why human being can easily panic and fear because of coronavirus, it is because of the long conditioning from the past. I myself experienced it personally. Sometimes fear and doubt also come to me. I whisper to myself, hello, long conditioning, how are you? I know you are there. You are not myself. It is the long conditioning come from my parent, come from my teacher, come from my friends in the past. It is the energy of conditioning. One of the famous spiritual teachers who deeply analyzed about long countless conditioning is Jiddu Krishnamurti. The title of the book is Freedom from the Noun. Be careful. Any knowledge, any wisdom, any fear, any doubt, anger, it is the process of countless life conditioning. In order to dispel the inner darkness, remember to whisper to your inner darkness whenever you are visited by anger, fear, panic, and those negative emotions. Hello, countless life conditioning. You are not me. You are the result of a very long time conditioning. It is like the way Pavlov conditioned the dog, giving food, ringing the bell. Giving food, ringing the bell. The same thing happened to us. The reason most of us can easily angry because in the childhood we learn directly from our parent. Any problem, angry. Problem, angry. Problem, angry. That's why we can be easily angered. We are long conditioned from the childhood. It is the long process of conditioning. The mantra is very simple. Hello, long life conditioning. How are you? That is number 4. Number 5, the step to dispel the inner darkness. If you contemplate deeply about human body is made by contradicting material. Here there is something solid, there is something fluid. In our body there is water, there is fire, confronting material. So that's why all life include the life of the enlightened being. All human life is full of paradox and contradiction. Darkness will happen to you if you refuse those paradox and contradiction. Don't refuse. Since the material which made human body is the opposing material, water, fire, solid, fluid. That is the material. So that's why in one beautiful book of enlightenment, there is a beautiful conclusion like this. One of the most important measurement of enlightenment is how comfortable you are with paradox and contradiction. My suggestion, in order to dispel the inner darkness, train yourself to be comfortable with inner paradox and contradiction. That is your natural nature. As natural as water which is wet, as natural natures of flower which is beautiful. Don't try to throw away all paradox and contradiction. The natural natures of human body is full of paradox and contradiction. Do not try to throw it out. Accept as it is the natural nature of human body. Remember the most important characteristic of enlightenment, how comfortable you are with paradox and contradiction. That is number 5 steps in dispelling the inner darkness. Number 6, we all have the inner gap. I call it the inner gap. We all do not want to be angry, but we all still have anger inside the gap. Yeah, we all do not want any disturbing sleep, but we all have our sleep being disturbed. At least in my case, once in a month, my quality of sleep worse than usual. It's okay. The gap between the ideal and the reality. The wider the gap between the ideal and the reality, the stronger the guilty feeling will follow you. Some of you who deeply learning Holy Scripture, learn spiritual teaching, you will experience, I know from the Holy Scripture that I'm not allowed to be angry. But what happened? As soon as my children are naughty, I am angry. Gap. Ideally speaking, you're no longer angry because you read a lot of Holy Scripture. But the reality, the anger is there, the gap. What I mean by dispelling the inner darkness is simple. We all have the inner gap. We all have the inner gap. Even the Buddha had the inner gap. The gap between the ideal life and the reality. What the enlightened being do is simple. Bridging the gap. What is the bridge? Practice. practice, practice. So that's why tomorrow we will talk dispelling the inner darkness, part 2, but by using practice. What we practice here in the spiritual family of compassion. This is the ideal, this is the reality. The bridge is practice, practice, practice. We all have the inner gap between the ideal and the reality, but continuously bridge the gap between the ideal and the reality using the bridge of practice, practice, practice. If you continuously practice number 1 until number 7, first of all, number 1, brain love pattern and repentance. As soon as life is not in line with the pattern and repentance, bad mood can easily appear. The second one is thinking, feeling loop. If you think negatively about something or someone, negative feeling will appear. And the negative feeling will strengthen the negative thinking. Remember to bring the candle of mindfulness. Number 3, remember there is neurological circuit inside the brain. Something related with what happened in the past, people, event, place, words. As soon as those memories come and visit you, simply whisper to yourself, hello neurological circuit. Do not entertain those memories. If you entertain those memories by speaking, analyzing, thinking, acting, the neurological circuit will become stronger. As a result, they will keep disturb you from one time to another time. Number 4, remember the story of psychologist Pavlov from Russia. All those negative qualities like anger, it is a result of long process of conditioning. Especially we learn from the parent. Number 5, we all have paradox and contradiction. Remember, the most important measurement of enlightenment is how comfortable you are with paradox and contradiction. Number 6, we all have inner gap, ideal life and reality. And the best bridge that connecting the ideal life with reality is practice, practice, practice. That's why tomorrow we are going to bridge the gap by sharing to you what we practice here in the spiritual family of compassion. If you sincerely practice number 1, 2, 3 until number 7, there will be less draining from the mind. If the energy drained from the mind getting less, body have sufficient energy. As a result, body has all the ability to heal itself. The second result is your vibration. Remember what I said in the past. The vibrations of disease and virus is below 100. The vibrations of peace is 1,000. The vibrations of love is 550. If you seriously practice this dispelling the inner darkness, your vibration is far higher than the vibrations of virus. The last one, like what I said this morning, the intersection point where body, mind and spirit, we have body, mind and spirit, where those three, body, mind and spirit, meet is in the biochemical reactions of the brain. If your mind negative, talking about the negative sides of the government, negative sides of your enemies, brain will release the negative hormone like adrenaline and cortisol. Not only your body is being poisoned, your mind, your spirit also being poisoned. If you think positive, holistically, like what I did by using this 7 steps, the brain will release the growth hormone like oxytocin, dopamine, serotonin. It does not only improve the health of your body, but also improve the health of your mind and spirit. That is the conclusions of this evening session. Hopefully, the light that flows through me can dispel some of your inner darkness. Thank you very much, beautiful friends, beautiful heart, beautiful soul, light seeker, peace lover, and students on the path of meditation. Thank you very much. Good evening. Sabisata Bhavantu Sukitata. May all beings are happy, free from suffering. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace in the lower, peace in the middle, peace in the upper realm.